The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. What's going on, everybody? It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton on this Wednesday morning. In honor of Val Kilmer, I'm your Huckleberry. I should have probably got the hat on. There we go. Maybe we do it a little country tip today. Huh? Is that what we're gonna do? No, it's not gonna be that. I got that saved for a little bit later on today. Whenever you can find me live with the National Streaming Sports crew on the Professional Sports Show. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today. The Dallas Cowboys somehow still in the news. Nikola Jokic goes for 61 points in a triple-double yesterday. The Denver Nuggets lose a game. Steph Curry gets 52 points, eyeing the all-time record for most three-pointers in a game, and that's put on the back burner. The LA Dodgers are 7-0, and that's put on the back burner. All because the Dallas Cowboys, once again, are in the news cycle, doing what the Dallas Cowboys do best, which is basically infuriate me, if I'm being honest. That's kind of what it is that the Dallas Cowboys have been doing over the last couple of years, infuriating me, making me so damn pissed off to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. But the reason why they were in the news is because of Jerry Jones, and they were talking about all of the stuff that surrounds Micah Parsons, his contract, all that good stuff. And this is what Jerry Jones had to say. I want to make sure we have audio. There we go. This is what Jerry Jones had to say in regards to Micah Parsons' contract.
I don't view it as urgent at all. And, some say, well, using the basis that the earlier you get something done, the cheaper. Well, the earlier you get something done, a lot of times the more mistakes you make. And you might want to see a few more cards play, not just with that particular negotiation, but with the whole team. And so I know I'm kind of being a little defensive here, but the idea that the only success is getting a contract done at an early time is incorrect. And I'd rather pay more and get it right than I had pay less and screw it up. And so you can screw it up real good. You can go too early and misread athletic ability. You can mislead availability for the future. You can get a lot of things screwed up by going early. And any contract that's worth noting, as you well know, it takes two to have an agreement. But more importantly, 9 times out of 10, if I wanted to close it, I'd close it.
That is Jerry Jones talking about the reason why I guess he waits so long to sign players to long-term deals. And there's a part of me that says, okay, Jerry, I guess I get it, right? I guess I understand where it is that you're coming from. I want to try to understand where it is that you're coming from. But it just doesn't seem like it doesn't make sense to me. The way that Jerry Jones is kind of talking about it, right? Where it's, look, if I pay too much up front, or if I pay too much by waiting, I'd rather wait and make sure I got it right. What example do we have, though, of Jerry Jones getting it right? Would you say the Dak Prescott contract is Jerry Jones getting it right? Would you say the CeeDee Lamb contract is Jerry Jones getting it right? Because it doesn't feel like Jerry Jones has got it right in quite some time. And maybe I'm just saying that as a disenfranchised Dallas Cowboys fan, where I'm upset about this team being who this team is. But I can't think of, and I cannot pinpoint a time where it feels like, in recent memory at least, that Jerry Jones got it right. And I understand that you don't want to, pay guys a little early, but that's how you get around doing all the issues with the salary cap, right? You have to be able to hit at the right time. If the thing is, well, we got to make sure that they're available. Hell, you paid Dak Prescott, and he hasn't really necessarily been available. He's been injured a lot since you've paid Dak Prescott. So it's not like they've necessarily done all these things in this miraculous type of manner. You have Micah Parsons left on your books for one more year, and yeah, you can sit back and be like, oh, okay, well, we've got him. We can wait to the last minute, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't necessarily work that way all the time. And I think that that's where the frustration comes from with Dallas Cowboys fans, myself included, is we know that you've got to get these guys signed. We know that you can't let Micah Parsons go, as much as Chris Canty on ESPN radio says, you got to let Micah Parsons go. It's time to let him go. Blah, 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 blah. He can't be there on the team anymore because you got to worry about culture and all the other nonsense and stuff like that they keep talking about over at ESPN when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. And I sit here and I think to myself, if you trade Micah Parsons, again, you're basically saying we're giving up on any future with the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like we're not going to be doing as good as I think a lot of teams would want the Dallas or a lot of Cowboys fans would want the Cowboys to do. But sitting there and being like, look, I'm defending how I do business. And again, as a business person, I believe Jerry Jones is a brilliant, brilliant man. As a GM of the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like his time has passed and he would have fired himself for the performance of this team. Sitting there and saying that you're going to wait to see what happens with Micah Parsons is insanity to me. And I'm going to play it again one more time because I want to see if y'all hear what it is that I hear. And then I'll talk about that coming up here in just a second. So I'm going to play it one more time for the people that are just joining in right now. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course, over on Roku with National Streaming Sports. Shout out to our friends over at National Stream Sports. Later on today, I will be a part of the National Professional Sports Show. This is what Jerry Jones had to say about why he waits so long to sign players to contracts.
I don't view it as urgent at all. And, some say, well, using the basis that the earlier you get something done, the cheaper. Well, the earlier you get something done, a lot of times the more mistakes you make. And you might want to see a few more cards play, not just with that particular negotiation, but with the whole team. And so I know I'm kind of being a little defensive here, but the idea that the only success is getting a contract done at an early time is incorrect. And I'd rather pay more and get it right than I had pay less and screw it up. And so you can screw it up real good. You can go too early and misread athletic ability. You can mislead availability for the future. You can get a lot of things screwed up by going early. And any contract that's worth noting, as you well know, it takes two to have an agreement. But more importantly, 9 times out of 10, if I wanted to close it, I'd close it.
9 times out of 10, if I wanted to close it, I would close it. He's going around here trying to make it seem as though whatever he wants to do is what it is that he's going to do. Like, right, again, it sounds like the stubborn thing, right? Just another stubborn old man. Tommy Canonza saying Jerry's an idiot, period. Period. He's an idiot. And I sit back and again, I look, I debate it. I try to find all these things. My guy B. Strill is tuning in saying good morning to those that are tuned in right now over on the YouTube channel. Wednesday mornings are always a slow morning for me. So I need some energy from y'all. Let me know that you're out there in the abyss, whether you're on Twitter or X or anywhere like that. Let's see people are tuned in. The Crooked Commissioner saying, what's up, Big Mike? I just hit you on IG. Do you have a TikTok as well? Yes, everything on every social media. I saw that you followed the Tipping Point page. Everything on every social media is at Mr. Tipton 33. You'll see that down in the, I guess it's over here. Where is it? There we go. Right there. At Mr. Tipton 33. That is all my social media handles on everything. Literally everything. I was lucky enough to, as soon as like a new social media channel comes out, I swoop in and I get that Mr. Tipton 33. I have like all the emails too, even like MSN, AOL. I don't think I have AOL. But I listened to what Jerry Jones is saying there, right? And it's basically the old man saying, look, I did business this way. I've done business this way my entire life. I'm going to continue doing business this way. And it just doesn't feel like they're going to that they're going to get better. And you have to realize, once again, right, Jerry Jones, a ton of success early on in his career, so he thinks that he's able to replicate it, and he's going to be able to do the things that help make him successful early on, right? Is you have that level of success. I know better than everyone else. I don't care how long it's been. And that was brought up to him by one of the reporters in yesterday's little impromptu, maybe press conference that the Dallas Cowboys had.
Certainly the little 30-year drought or whatever else. Have you done enough this offseason to close the gap on the Eagles and really get a Super Bowl team back in play here? And where's the urgency to do that?
You know, we've had, in my mind, I know it is, I want to be real clear. In no way am I satisfied, but I think we've won the 6 most games over the last 15 years in the NFL, or we've won the 5th most games since 15. We've hung around the rim. Now, we missed some real opportunity 2 or 3 times to maybe step up there and get into the championship game and, of course, get into the Super Bowl. The reason I'm saying it that way is that's what I see when I look at what we've done in the past and what we're doing. Okay, I don't wake up in the morning saying it's been that long since we've played in an NFC championship game. We've had good teams. We've had good players. It's not at all satisfactory. But no one has shown me the answer on how to get to a Super Bowl. I've seen all kinds of coaches in the NFL, and I've seen all kinds of general managers in any season not win Super Bowls. And so, yeah, I'm hard on the fact that we're not getting in it last year, that we had the kind of year we had. But I don't sit around and dwell on that long since we have been, and I don't even want to have a tone about it. I've got too many other things that I'm proud of, and I know that we were there and we had an opportunity to get it. It's unbelievable we haven't been back, but I'm just giving you a tone. I don't think when we're preparing next year and getting ready to put this team together, that I don't think in terms of, well, it's been that long since we've done it. I think in terms of what can we do to actually do it at the time. That's not in there.
Oh, Jerry. It's one of those things, and like I feel like on this show I've been a long-term Jerry Jones apologist, and yesterday, today, all of the stuff that I've seen, it's moved me off of my position. Tommy Connors is saying again, he's an idiot. Every time he opens his mouth, I get a headache, shake my head. And I had to look into that. I was like, man, okay, so I know the Cowboys have had some success. They've won a lot of games over the last, decade and a half, I guess, right? Like they haven't been terrible. They haven't been good enough to win a Super Bowl, but they haven't been terrible. And I think that's, where again, I say the Dallas Cowboys live in purgatory. That's where they've been. Our guy Bistrillo says, if you're a successful business and doing the same thing isn't working for you, it's time to change your pro quo. The pro quo. Jerry not changing is a bad thing for the Cowboys. I agree with that 100%. Once again, as a business person, bringing up the value of the Dallas Cowboys, in turn, also the value of the NFL as a franchise, right? Like growing the value of that franchise, that's where he's been genius. The marketing arm of the Dallas Cowboys, absolutely genius. It's the product on the field that leaves a lot that we're lacking, right? That's where I think the Dallas Cowboys have the biggest issue, is the product on the field. And I had to push back on that. Jerry's like, we've had the 6th most wins since 2010, the 5th most wins since 2015. So I had to look into that. And I was like, that doesn't seem right to me. I look it up. The Dallas Cowboys are number 9 in most wins since 2010. So it's, again, not great, not bad. They're just kind of in the middle, right? They're right there at that middle rung. But when you see the teams that are ahead of them since 2010, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Packers, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Since 2010, the Saints have been to, multiple deep playoff runs. They won the Super Bowl the year before 2010. This is our line of demarcation. So we're talking about a Saints team that was just coming off of a Super Bowl win. The Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls. The Seahawks won a Super Bowl, could have won 2 Super Bowls. The Steelers were in the Super Bowl, lost to the Green Bay Packers, who are the team right ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Patriots won a ton of Super Bowls. The Kansas City Chiefs won a ton of Super Bowls. So, yes, you're in the mix. You're hanging around the rim, as Jerry says. You're hanging around the rim. But whenever you go up to dunk, that rim blocks you while the other teams are getting those dunks and the highlights and doing all that other stuff. The Cricket Commission saying, man, just think how far back he would have set you guys if you picked Johnny Football. Oh, God. And I was a big Johnny Manziel fan. Like, I don't know what it was. I loved Johnny Manziel. I have a Johnny Manziel Cleveland Browns jersey. I don't know if anyone's ever admitted that on any type of streaming platform before, but I have a Johnny Manziel jersey. Marky Mix saying Jerry's ego is bigger than the state of Texas, and we know it's a pretty damn big state. Man, it's just I listen to everything that Jerry Jones says right there. And I'm gonna play it again just because like I like to listen and dissect and see if there's something else that I could find. And I get the mindset of we can't sit here and dwell on the past. We really can't do that. B. Strilla saying stats are great, but winning the Super Bowl is the goal, 100%. And you already know my mindset. I don't care if you make it to the Super Bowl. Did you win the damn thing? That's what matters. Did you win the damn Super Bowl? Listen to Jerry Jones talk about this. And like I said, I'm going to play it one more time. It'll be the last time I play it here on the show. To have zero, like, oh, this doesn't bother me at all. There's no way in hell that that's the truth.
There's been so much talk about certainly the little 30-year drought or whatever else. Have you done enough this offseason to close the gap on the Eagles and really get a Super Bowl team back in play here? And where's the urgency to do that?
You know, we've had, in my mind, I know it is, I want to be real clear. In no way am I satisfied, but I think we've won the 6 most games over the last 15 years in the NFL, or we've won the 5th most games since 15. We've hung around the rim. Now, we missed some real opportunity 2 or 3 times to maybe step up there and get into the championship game and, of course, get into the Super Bowl. The reason I'm saying it that way is that's what I see when I look at what we've done in the past and what we're doing. Okay, I don't wake up in the morning saying it's been that long since we've played in an NFC championship game. We've had good teams, we've had good players. It's not at all satisfactory, but no one has shown me the answer on how to get to a Super Bowl. I've seen all kinds of coaches in the NFL, and I've seen all kinds of general managers in any season not win Super Bowls. And so, yeah, I'm hard on the fact that we're not getting in it last year, that we had the kind of year we had. But I don't sit around and dwell on that long since we have been, and I don't even want to have a tone about it.
I couldn't even play the whole thing through. I just couldn't do it. I've seen other teams not win the Super Bowl. Well, no shit. Like, only one team wins the Super Bowl every year, my guy. And again, in Utopia, once every 32 years, your team wins the Super Bowl. This isn't Utopia. This isn't the happiest place on earth. This is real life. And your team hasn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Your team hasn't made an NFC championship game in 30 years. Again, I don't put any weight on simply making it to an NFC championship game. I put all the weight on, did you win a ring? And the Dallas Cowboys don't have a ring. They haven't done anything that makes you sit back and say, oh, okay, well, that's awesome. B. Strilla saying, when the Lions have more playoff wins this century than the Cowboys, you know there's a problem. And I've been on the side of Jerry Jones the majority of the time, right? I think a lot of the people that listen to the show, that watch the show, get upset with me because I sound like I'm a mouthpiece of Dallas Cowboys apologist, despite the fact that I say repeatedly that I hate that I love this team. But to have that mindset of, well, I've seen other teams not win the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, most of them don't in any given season. All but one don't in any given season. But what have you done? If that's what you're going to say is, we've been up there. We've been hanging around the rim. Sure, you're close to the rim. Tommy Canazza saying you're the guy that misses the wide open layups. I did that like as a teacher. We always had like the student versus teacher games, right? And I was always a pretty decent point guard. I'm a pretty decent shooter as well. But I have good court vision. Obviously, with thick-ass glasses, you can see everything. And what I would do is I had a guy wide open under the rim. He was a big dude. He's like 6'4". So I'm like, this guy's going to be able to get me some points. I launched the ball down there to him. First off, he can't catch it. I'm like, that wasn't that bad of a pass, but maybe it was on me, right? Tries to throw it up for a layup, misses. I get the rebound, bring it back out, toss it back to him because he's wide open, misses the layup again. And that's where I realized not everybody can make a layup, right? Like, it's tough for a reason. People get paid to do it because it's tough for a reason. Doesn't matter how big you are if you can't put the ball in the hoop, right? And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are. Sure, you're hanging around the rim, but you're getting 3-second violations all the time, while the Kansas City Chiefs are basically Nikola Jokic on your ass. Like, it's so frustrating to hear the owner of the Dallas Cowboys come out here and say, "Oh, we've been okay. We're all right." Like, I'll take the BS conversation that he had of, this is why I don't pay Micah Parsons. This is why I don't pay guys, is because I'd rather pay more at the end of the day and be right than pay less and be wrong, which sounds so stupid. It genuinely does, right? Wouldn't it be if I paid more and was wrong? Then I'd be upset about it. But if I'm paying less and I was wrong, I can cut my ties, right? But to say, oh, well, I wait because I want to make sure I'm right, and you pay Dak Prescott the contract you pay Dak Prescott, and then you want to say, oh, well, I've seen other teams not win the Super Bowl as well. My guy has been taking a master class from 47 on how to deflect, right? Oh, I don't know anything about it. You're talking to the wrong guy, but the buck stops here. I don't know anything, though. This is the first you're telling me. Have you ever... Sorry, Roku. Have you ever been around a person where they get caught red-handed, right? Like, as a parent, you see this all the time. You get caught red-handed, and you look at the person straight in the eyes, and they're like, I don't know what's happening right now. Well, you weren't supposed to get the cookies. This isn't a cookie, where it's clearly a cookie, right? That's what Jerry Jones is sounding like right now. I don't know how to take responsibility for my actions, for what I'm doing. So here we go. B. Strilla saying that's one damn good 47. I've been working on it. I've been working on it. That's one of my things. Marlene Salcedo saying it just means we're going to see the same old shit this upcoming season. How frustrating. I told, again, guys, my mindset, as of this moment, I know it'll change, it'll ebb, and it'll flow, but my mindset right now is the Dallas Cowboys are going to be 0-17. That is my mindset. I am here for it. Injected in my veins. You win a singular game this year, and I will be beyond pissed off. Marky Mick saying, bro, did you ever see his interview with Stephen A. Smith? Bro said a whole bunch of nothing. And that's exactly what I was thinking, right? I went back and I watched the entire press conference, a 35-minute press conference. And all it was a bunch of words with zero value to it. Zero value to it. It's almost as if, again, he was taking a master class on how to just try to spin a web of absolute confusion that nobody's going to get to understand, myself included. I'm sitting here looking and reading the transcript and all the stuff that comes along with them, and it's someone else's fault. This is the first I've heard of it, right? Like, that's exactly what it comes down to. You want accountability from everyone else. You're just not doing it yourself. Sorry, y'all didn't need to hear that. But that's what it feels like when it comes down to this Jerry Jones conversation that we keep seeming to have, is a whole bunch of, oh my God, what is going on with this team here and all of the stuff that happens and surrounds the Dallas Cowboys and blah, 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 blah. There is zero accountability when it comes to Jerry Jones, because if it was true, if Jerry Jones was holding himself accountable, he'd have fired himself by now. And again, I'm the Dallas Cowboys apologist here. I'm the Jerry Jones apologist here. And it took that press conference of a bunch of words of nothingness to come out and for me to be like, oh, you know what? I don't think I can be on this side right now, Jerry. I'm sorry. I want to be. I can't be. It's not going to happen, my guy. I'm trying to figure out zero. I'm trying to figure out what it is with this team. The question was asked, have you closed the gap between the Philadelphia Eagles and yourself, between the Washington Commanders and yourself? He was later asked about what he felt about the draft, and I should have cut this one up because he was asked what he felt about the draft was Jerry Jones, and all he could say was, hey, you know, there's some good numbers here and there, and it made me feel like, holy hell, this guy isn't prepared for the draft. Like, is he just going to spend the next couple of weeks trying to get prepared for the draft? Like, what is going on here with Jerry Jones and this draft? And I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what can we do? What can we do to make sure Jerry Jones is prepared for the draft? Because right now, the way that he answered it, and I might play it later on, I might play it tomorrow, who knows? When he was asked about the draft, it sounded like whenever you ask a student, we've all been there, you ask a student about the book report, and they're looking at the back of the book, and they're like, it's a book. Mark Twain said some words. It was a very good book and made me think a lot, this book did. That book, I would say, had the best words, the most luxurious words you have ever heard. That's exactly what Jerry Jones's response to the NFL draft question was. And that's where the Dallas Cowboys have always hung their hat over these last couple of years as they've been completely inept, is we've had some pretty good drafts. But here's your caveat. It feels like they're not prepared for this draft. And I get it. Sometimes you want to hold your cards close to your chest. You don't want to show everyone, oh, we're looking at this guy. And then someone comes in and swoops that guy right from under you, right? I kind of get that. But whenever your answer to, well, how are you going to approach this year's NFL draft is, you know, there's some good numbers out there. Okay. Cool, I guess. Right? Like if any of us was asked that question or asked somebody a question like that, and all they gave you was, no, there's some pretty cool numbers out there. There's some pretty good numbers. You would say, okay, yeah. Bistro saying, hell, you even got 47's look down. Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, my guy, I've been working on it. So I like to mimic other people's voices, right? It just hurts my throat. I still have my tonsils and stuff, so it's hard to do on a regular basis. But I like to mimic people's voices and the way that they talk. And you can do a Donald Trump like this, right? Like it would be great to do it like this. It would be okay. Some would say it would be luxurious even. But you really have to get the faces and the mannerisms, and you got to put the lips out just a little bit to be able to like fully bring in and appreciate what it is that 47 does. The dumbest damn answers to any of the dumbest damn questions in the world. I love his deer in the headlights look where he's like, no, I don't know this. This is the first I'm hearing of it. God, I hate where we are. I'm not going to go into it. Woosah. I had a whole conversation about this after Fire and Ice off the cameras because I'm trying my best to separate life from what this should be, which is the escape. We laugh at the jokes tip. Ha ha ha. Be our little court jester, my little marionette. I'm 400 pounds. I'm not 400 pounds. If you believe I'm 400 pounds, you can go F yourself. Anyway, that's enough of Jerry Jones. I am done with the Jerry Jones conversation. I'm looking forward to the NFL draft. I am working on my my mock draft. I think I'm going to make it just a video, and we can play it out. I'm working on little graphics and things like that we're going to do as well. I think that's going to be a pretty fun time for your boy. It's going to be a lot of production, but it's going to be a fun time for your boy as we're inching closer and closer and closer to the NFL draft right around the corner. Hopefully, I can go to Green Bay and get to cover the NFL draft. It'll be my 4th draft in a row that I get approved to go to. 3rd out of 4 years that hopefully I'll be able to make it to if I don't have to worry about flying with American Airlines. But yesterday, I was watching an NBA game, and this is after a baseball practice. I helping coach my son's baseball team, my 7-year-old's baseball team. And I come home, I'm tired. I was dressed up basically in a suit playing first base. So that way they can know a target to throw to first base, because we're teaching 7-year-olds how to play baseball, right? And you talk about trying to stretch in some slacks, never a good idea. I wanted to see if I could still do the split, because when I played first base, it was something I could do. But I also know if I do the split, chances of me getting back up are de minimis. It is not going to happen. I will tear multiple ligaments in multiple areas of my body. But I get home, I'm tired. I turn on the TV and I'm watching the not the Dallas Mavericks. Wow. I'm watching the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this has been a good game going back and forth the whole time. And I'm just exhausted, man. So I turn the game off. And I get messages from a couple of people that I know. And it's like, Tip, you got to turn this game on. You got to turn this game back on. I'm like, guys, I'm in bed. I don't have a TV in my bedroom for specific sleeping reasons, because I'm a weird person who doesn't know how to sleep. I'm just not going to do this. I'm already in bed. I'm comfy. Whatever happens isn't going to be that crazy. Fast forward to this morning, I see that the game ends in double overtime, 140 to 139. Nikola Jokic has a 61-point triple-double. The basketball-playing loaf of bread has gone out here and done an incredible feat yet again. And somehow the Minnesota Timberwolves win the game, not the Denver Nuggets. And there was a stat yesterday where I kept thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, this guy, it seems like every year Nikola Jokic is just doing something we have never seen before. And the stat was going to be, he was going to be top 5 in scoring. I think he's number 3 in scoring right now, leading the league in rebounding. Number 3, I want to say, in assists. Number 1 in steals. Number 1 in field goal percentage. And if he does that, if he finishes the season that way, and the end of the season's right around the corner, so it seems like it's going to be that way, he'll be the first player in NBA history to be in the top 10 of all of those categories. And he's in top 5 of all of them right now. And I have to sit here and I have to really ask this question. Why do we not give that man the love he deserves? That is one of the greatest basketball players we have ever seen. He's a loaf of bread. Don't get me wrong. He's a jar of mayo. But he is the greatest basketball player we have ever seen. And yes, I know what I just said right now. The greatest basketball player we have ever seen. He might not have the rings of Jordan. He might not have the longevity of LeBron James. But you cannot deny that this man's greatness is there. And it's going to be there for an extended period of time. That Nikola Jokic is the greatest basketball player we have seen. And he looks like a loaf of bread. His elbows are bleeding for whatever reason every single game. It's insane to me that is the greatest basketball player we've ever seen, because he does it on defense, he does it on offense, he does everything. There's zero emotion that you get out of him. He's a champion now. Marky Mick saying, do you think that Jokic should get the MVP after last night's performance? I think he should have gotten the MVP before last night's performance. If you're the only player in the history of the game to be top 10 in 5 different categories, you should be the MVP. Where would Denver be without him? If he's leading the league or up towards the top in every single statistical category there is, why? Where would Denver be without Nikola Jokic? If you put Nikola Jokic on the Lakers, where would they be? If you put him on the Spurs, where would they be? They would be a constant contending team, no matter where he goes. You can't say that about LeBron. You can't say that about Giannis. You can't say that about Luka, sorry. You can't say that about Victor Wembanyama right now. You can't say that about Jason Tatum. You can't say it about Jaylen Brown. The one person that you can say, no matter where he goes, you can say he would carry an entire dead corpse of a body of a franchise to a championship level type team, would be Nikola Jokic, because he plugs so many holes for you. Probably because he's a loaf of bread and bread absorbs water. It's insane to think that's the best player in the NBA right now. Marky Mick saying it's because he's not glamorous enough for the NBA American media. Oh, I like it. We're talking about American myopathy here. We're so myopic in the way that we look at things, the United States American media. I also think it's because he doesn't play in a sexy market, right? Like, how is it that this guy is constantly forgotten about? The conversation is always about LeBron. It's always about the Knicks. It shouldn't ever be about the Knicks. Even the Detroit Pistons are getting overlooked right now with how great their team is. And I love me some Cade Cunningham. Trust me. I love me some Cade Cunningham. But the conversation seems to never involve the really good teams, at least not anymore, right? They're just now starting to give the Oklahoma City Thunder their flowers, and it's because Charles Barkley came out and said, those people on ESPN don't watch basketball, and it's obvious that they don't watch basketball. And now they're like, holy hell, we've got to start watching basketball so we can sound like what we know what the hell we're talking about and not just have a whole pregame show that's 55 minutes of LeBron James talk and 5 minutes of commercials leading into a game that LeBron James isn't even playing. It sounds weird for these words to come out of my mouth, but I would love to see what the argument is against it. Nikola Jokic isn't just the best player in the NBA now. He's the best player in NBA history. And that sounds like sacrilege. Again, look at all of his stats. If he ends the season the way that he's played this season, he's going to end averaging a triple-double. That loaf of bread, that jar of mayonnaise with legs and a basketball shot is going to end the season averaging a triple-double in a historic season where he scored 61 points in a triple-double effort. Where, again, he's the only person in the history of the NBA to be top 10 and top 5 in 5 or 6 different statistical categories. We need to start giving that man the love he deserves as the best basketball player in the world right now and possibly ever. Marky Mick saying the NBA is all about ratings and money. And I get it, dude. I get it. But they're also, the job is to build the brand. Build the brand, right? You build the brand by talking about storylines. We're talking about a guy that came from like a war-torn country. Like his brothers are these huge, big, beefy dudes that just like are like bodyguards for him. His brothers are bigger than he is, which is, again, an insane thing to think about. All he wants to do is go home and race horses and do like these types of things. He's a very interesting person, but no one knows the stories about him because the NBA just wants to feed you LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. Maybe we'll throw Steph Curry in the mix, but at least Steph Curry, the story that's surrounding him is actually interesting. Like yesterday, Steph Curry going out, getting 52 points. The shot's never going to be broken with Steph. Like that dude can play that style of basketball for the remainder of time. Just depends on how long he wants his ligaments to last. Nikola Jokic, again, it sounds weird for me, a guy who loves me some Michael Jordan, to be considered as the greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA. Nikola Jokic has to be on that list. He has to now be on your Mount Rushmore of the best players in NBA history. Like he has to be. There's no way that you can dispute it. No way that you can dispute it. Looking at the standings right now in the NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder obviously continuing their amazing season right now, 63-12 on the season. The Houston Rockets 49-27 on the season, 14 and a half games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are in second place in the West. That shows you how good Oklahoma City has been, right? Like that team, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and them boys. That's my favorite to win the NBA championship. And again, it sounds weird to say the Oklahoma City Thunder, formerly the Seattle Supersonics, are the favorite to win the NBA championship. Denver, I think you always got to put in there. They're 47-29, 16 and a half games out of first place. The Lakers in fourth place right now, but they are free falling. They're back 17 games. Golden State Warriors back 19 games. The Dallas Mavericks, though. Tommy Cananza's Dallas Mavericks, the number 9 seed right now, so they are in the play-in tournament. The Phoenix Suns are out of the play-in tournament, along with the Portland Trailblazers, San Antonio Spurs, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Utah Jazz. I went to a Utah Jazz game a couple of weeks ago, and that is a bad team. Like just flatly a bad team. Shout out to Utah, though. You were a very friendly place for the most part. If you look over in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers with the best record in the East at 60-15, 4 games ahead of the Boston Celtics. They're 12 games ahead of the New York Knicks, and the Indiana Pacers are in the playoffs right now as well. Marky Mick saying, "Let's go Mavs." Mark, are you still a Mavs fan after the trade of Luka Doncic? Like, I genuinely ask this. I'm not asking to be a jerk, but I'm asking just like as a fan, right? Because I know it's hard. Like I know it's hard right now. Are you still a fan of the Mavs, even though they traded Luka Doncic? Marky Mick saying, "What are your thoughts on KD currently?" Man, he's doing a lot of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? Like that's what it seems to be, like what he's doing. I feel like Phoenix should have traded him at the deadline. I really do. I also feel like, though, that KD's probably going to be one of these guys that holds on a little longer than what he should, because, again, the shot's going to be there. When you're that big, when you're that good, that shot's always going to be there. And to be one of the greatest scorers of all time, despite the injuries where he's missed multiple parts of multiple seasons, but it just feels like Phoenix and all they tried to do, that right there is kind of like what Jerry Jones was cautioning against, right? You give these guys contracts, you give these guys a lot of money, you do all this and that to try to help these players out, to try to build a winning franchise, and at the end of the day, you wind up being the number 12 seed or the number 11 seed in the NBA standings behind the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. And all of us can say the Dallas Mavericks should have punted on this season the second Kyrie Irving got hurt, because you knew Anthony Davis wasn't going to be there. How this team is ahead of you, despite all the stuff that surrounds them, where it seems like they're just swimming in a cesspool of crap. I guess that's redundant, right? Isn't the cesspool basically full of crap anyway? Where this team is just swimming in a cesspool, it makes it seem as though Phoenix is more out of control. They're currently 6 games under 500, 28 and a half games back. Even if they make it into the play-in tournament, you don't think that they're going to beat Minnesota, especially the way Minnesota played yesterday. And it just feels like the future for the Phoenix Suns is they've got to blow that entire franchise up. And I like KD. I like KD as a player. Weird kind of dude, the ashiest ankles in the history of mankind. Put some lotion on that. Come on, guy. What a jerk. Marky Mick saying, "Yes, I'm still a fan, and mostly everyone here still is. Very loyal fan base, just upset with the franchise." Tommy Cananza saying, "The Mavs sent me into oppression a couple of months ago, and shake my head. I'm not excited anymore." I think that's the thing that sucks too, right? Is like, even if they win the play-in tournament, if they win, they're going to be the number 8 seed, so they go up against Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll see you later. If they win, they're the number 2 seed, or number 7 seed rather, and they go up against the Houston Rockets. Whatever. They win a game, they become the number 8 seed. They go up against Oklahoma City Thunder. They're out of the playoffs, right? So all it is just kind of marching slowly towards what you know is going to happen, which is going to be a slow, painful, agonizing death and a merciful end to this horrific season that the Dallas Mavericks had, where there was a ton of hope up until February 6th. And then on the trade deadline, we're doing what? No, now you've gone too far. That's my Liam Neeson from Taken. Or not from Taken, from whenever he was asked about equality. No. Now you've gone too far. Marky Mix asking me, what is my finals matchup prediction? My finals matchup prediction, we'll put it in stone right now. That's not going to sound sexy because it's going to sound super chalky, but I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Boston Celtics, and the Boston Celtics will be back-to-back champions. I love what they're doing in Boston. I love me some Jason Tatum. I feel like there's still some growing pains that are going to have to be there for Oklahoma City. Hey, Mark and I on the same wavelength right here. I think it's going to be the Celtics that win that one, and it bothers me because I feel like the Celtics and anything good that happens to Boston, I am not a fan of. Just flatly, I am not a fan of. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to end the show a little bit earlier because I got to get in the car. You can tell I'm dressed up. I got somewhere I need to be. So I got to go to downtown El Paso. I live on the Far East Side. That's going to be at least a 30-minute drive, hopefully without any traffic. And I got some places that I got to go to the downtown convention center. Now, I appreciate y'all tuning into today's show. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate Jerry Jones for allowing me to talk 30 minutes about his ineptitude and the fact that whenever he goes all into his glory hole, that there's not much there for anybody to be excited about, himself included. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have yourselves a great day, guys. You all know there are hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. However, BetUS has been in business for over 30 years. They have future bets that are paying out in the thousands, and there's still time for you to bet on the Super Bowl, the National Championship, and even the NBA Championship. Just use the QR code right here, and it'll take you to the BetUS site. BetUS. Check it out and bet responsibly. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%.